Music Ninja Matt here, and I was going to do this in two separate videos, talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and then the DC one, but I thought why not compare the two, and just whack it all into one video. So first off, we have the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I have absolutely loved. If we're looking at it thus far, we're 11 movies in. I'm looking up there because I've actually got them all on DVD up there. Honestly, it is so difficult to fault the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Really have thoroughly enjoyed it thus far. Obviously, there are a few things I could pick at. I just don't like when cast members get replaced. Obviously, sometimes they have to, but having a different Rhodey, having a different Bruce Banner, and then there are films like Iron Man 3, which I enjoyed it, but they completely ruined the Mandarin, in my opinion. But overall, I absolutely love it. I really enjoy what they've got so far. Even films like Guardians of the Galaxy, I think took everybody by surprise and ended up being one of the best films that they have. And then, of course, as far as DC goes, what they've got at the moment is just Man of Steel, which, although people complain about, I loved it, and I thought it was a Superman movie especially, because, I'm a huge fan. I've got all the Christopher Reeve Supermans, but then obviously Superman Returns was such a massive flop. I think it was just people were waiting to really hate on Man of Steel, but I think it did a really good job. It had much, darker tones and whatnot. And, of course, we got a lot of news. Marvel's lineup, of course, they came out. We've got Age of Ultron coming out, which is exciting. We've got Ant-Man, and Ant-Man will actually be finishing Phase 2 instead of starting Phase 3. And I'm excited to see, because Ant-Man should have a very different feel to it than other films. Then, of course, we've got Captain America Civil War coming out, May 6th, 2016. And 2 months later, the July slot, there is no film announced for it, so a lot of people are speculating perhaps we'll see Civil War Iron Man, and I think that's the most likely. There are other films I'd rather see, like Planet Hulk, but I think that's most likely that we'll see it from Iron Man's point of view as well. The Civil War storyline, if you don't know what it is, you need to go out and buy the graphic novel of it, because it's an amazing storyline whereby Cap has his own team, he goes off, and him and Iron Man fight, and it's just cool to see all the good guys sort of fall apart. Got Doctor Strange, November 4th, 2016, and the rumours are that they may have finally cast somebody for Doctor Strange, and Benedict Cumberbatch is the top choice. Now, I love Benedict, but I really don't see him as Doctor Strange. My favourite name that was thrown about was actually Johnny Depp. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was set to be out in July, but it got moved up to May, and so people, speculating about that July slot. But this film, how can you not be excited now after the first one? Really am excited to see this one. Thor 3, which comes out July 28th, 2017. What is it? I might pronounce this wrong. Ragnarok is the name of the film. It says it's confirmed that Loki will be back in this one, so obviously we need to see what's going on there. In my opinion, I think it will be like Captain America Civil War, this Thor film. I'm hoping really they'll be the last ones for those characters. Still keep the characters around in other films, but let other people have trilogies and whatnot. Black Panther, November 3rd, 2017. And we had, where is he? Chadwick Boseman is supposed to be playing Black Panther, and a lot of people, I myself haven't heard of him, but a lot of people have said he is perfect for the role. Captain Marvel, July 6th, 2018, but this is the first female-led film, which is a massive deal for Marvel, I think, and they're still figuring out who should play her, so who do you think should? Leave a comment down below. Avengers Infinity War, which, as soon as we saw Thanos at the end of Avengers 1, we knew this was happening. Part 1 comes out May 2018, Part 2 comes out May 2019. There's a lot of speculation with that it'll kind of be like this Civil War storyline. Oh, Steve's texting me. The Civil War storyline will carry on, and then it'll be because of Avengers Infinity War that the Civil War starts to wind down, come towards an end. And of course there's speculation about the perhaps because Chris Evans wants to leave, Captain America dying in these Avengers films, which allows Sebastian Stan to take over, and we'll have Bucky Cap. Inhumans, November 2nd, 2018. I don't actually know much about the Inhumans at all, but they're set to end Phase 3. I'm going to look into it and learn more about them. And then of course it's stuff like, there's all the Netflix stuff that they've got going on, but I'm going to talk about the TV side of things in a different video, because obviously DC's doing pretty well in the TV side of things, I think. Now, if we look at DC Comics have managed to battle against this, to me they're very far behind, but they've, by the looks of their films and their plans, they're going to be able to catch up and capture more interest. So of course we got Batman vs Superman coming out, and that's supposed to introduce us to quite a few people. In fact, when I look at it, Batman vs Superman is supposed to introduce us to Aquaman, Cyborg, obviously Batman and Wonder Woman. Got the casting choices in front of me. It's Ezra Miller as the Flash, set to appear in Justice League Part 1, The Flash, and Justice League Part 2. Jason I can't pronounce that. The guy from Game of Thrones is set to be Aquaman, and then obviously Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck, and Gal Gadot as Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, which most people know anyway. Amy Adams and Diana Lane are set to come back as Martha Kent and Lois Lane for Batman vs Superman. Then Cyborg will be played by Ray Fisher. So they're all pretty good casting choices. I mean, I half wish that DC would have their TV series and their films just be one universe, so we could have Arrow and the Flash TV series connect. But hey ho. But then yeah, their list of films: Batman vs Superman coming out, but then they also announced Suicide Squad for August 5th, 2016. Wonder Woman for June 23rd, 2017. Justice League Part 1 for November 17th, 2017. The Flash, March 23rd, 2018. Aquaman, July 27th. Shazam, April 5th, 2019. Justice League Part 2 for June 14th. Cyborg for April 3rd, 2020. And Green Lantern Reboot for June 19th, 2020. So this is pretty, to me, is very decent and exciting. A Cyborg movie, a Shazam movie, these weren't movies I was expecting, especially like the Suicide Squad movie. Really looking round, because this is from me perusing round on Wikipedia, on Facebook, on Movie Pilot. It's sort of all the information that I've been able to get hold of, and all the information that I've collected. Comparing the two, I'm equally excited for both, which I wasn't. Before, I really didn't care about DC's at all. I was very much into Marvel because of how established they are. But it's like I said, when you look at the release dates and you realise DC's very cleverly fitted their release dates to a point where, even though they've got a smaller roster of guys, they're using them properly, and they are going to catch up, I think. So I'm very excited now for Batman vs Superman, a lot more than I was. And for Marvel, it's just, we're moving into brand new characters, and I see that the universe is going to explode and be as big as the comics. So really, at the moment, it's just awesome to be a comic book fan. Looking in front of me right now, and it's like I said, I'm going to do a video talking about my thoughts on the TV series side of comic bookness. I wanted to do a WWE product thought video, and also talk about what other wrestling companies are out there, And then another video is I've got like news on my band and talk more thoroughly about that. Those are the video ideas I've got written down at the moment. But what I was thinking was, because this is perhaps making a weekly show, so that I'll have, you know, a section for comic book news and maybe a section for wrestling news and a section for, you know, all the stuff that I'm interested in. So obviously people can just watch sort of the bits of the show that the news they want to get. But it means that rather than me making all these little separate videos or what have you, it's like at the moment I'm watching Flash, Arrow, Gotham, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So I could have a weekly segment talking about those shows and all this kind of stuff. But let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, and I will catch you in the next one.